Chris. I am bringing you in. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I am doing good. I am over caffeinated and ready to learn on this Saturday morning. Yeah, let's just get into it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm caffeinated up. I'm ready to go.
I guess,
So
do you want to start telling people just like who you are in case they don't know?
yeah, I'm Chris Lawley, Christopher Lawley, whatever. I have a YouTube channel here on YouTube where YouTube channels go. That was weird. I mostly focus on the iPad and working on the iPad. I talk about some shortcut stuff like Matthew here, but I edit all my videos on the iPad using LumaFusion. So that's what I'm here to talk about today.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited because I've been like, I edited a few videos on LumaFusion last year, and then I was like, oh, I shouldn't change my workflow because I already have one that I didn't really. So that's why I'm like, I haven't made enough produced videos and I want to do it more. And I use the iPad all day long. So I need to edit on the video that I'm working on, or like on the device that I'm working on already. And LumaFusion is like more than capable. I think I was talking with our friend Alex Cox, and I was saying that like when there's something that isn't as effective as like another workflow, I just don't do it instead of like slogging through something that might be just like slightly more hard. And so that's especially like that's why I want to get some tips of maybe there are things that I'm not thinking about in LumaFusion. And just like get past some of those. Like I just don't know how to duck or at certain points or things like that. Somebody's even asking in the chat, which is awesome. Please participate if you're watching. But he's like, how do you deal with the long export times? I feel like the answer is just wait, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But
Uh, the one thing I will say, like the iPad Pro, like the modern iPad Pro, and like export times are fantastic.
yeah,
I started video editing. Like my first real computer that I used as a video editing machine that I made money off of had 2 gigs of RAM and a spinny hard drive. So export times on the iPad don't bug me because I used to have to set up videos to export overnight. Like this is nothing to me. Like the I in fact, I've done some tests and stuff, and a lot of like LumaFusion export times are almost real time. Like if a video is 8 minutes long, it takes about 8 minutes to export. So that's great. I'm all for that.
yeah.
But I think the most important thing, like getting started with LumaFusion, is not necessarily in LumaFusion. It's in the Files app, and it's organizing
Hmm.
your media. So
Yeah,
like
that's
in
awesome.
LumaFusion, the way it works is it does some weird stuff. So like if you import from Photos or import a file straight from Dropbox using the LumaFusion importer, it actually takes and makes a copy of that
Yeah.
data and puts it in the LumaFusion folder in the On My iPad section. So if you on your iPads, if you go to
Okay, let's
the
do it.
On My iPad section, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have my
So if you
iPad here,
okay,
and then let me
if you go
open.
into Files,
Got files there. Which section?
On My iPad,
Cool.
and then if you go into the LumaFusion folder, so right here,
Yeah,
this
this
folder
is a
is
mess.
pretty important.
Here,
Yeah,
let me bring up the
and
brightness.
and honestly, like this is just like how everyone's looks. But that user media folder, that is probably the most important folder. That basically is like your project files locally on your device.
Okay.
I like making sure everything is local on my device. So like overzealous like cloud storage device, like Dropbox and stuff like that. You know how they'll like delete data and stuff off your iPad when they think you're
Mm-hmm.
not using it or something like that. So I like keeping everything in here. So you looks like you already have quite a few things in here, but I like to organize my stuff by like projects, and then in that folder I like to like put audio, music, footage, and then like in the footage folder I like to have A roll, B roll, things like that. So making sure like your local files are well organized is really important.
Okay. Can we pause for just a quick second? People are saying
Yeah.
you're slightly quiet.
Oh, I could turn that up.
Yeah.
Better, everyone.
Maybe a little bit more. I think mine is. Uh, I I'm using Ecamm and it
Okay.
doesn't give me good tools for it. Can you just
There
like
we go.
gain it? Yeah, I think
I
that's good.
there we go. I just turned it down just a smidge because I was clipping, but I'm at 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Mine unfortunately does not go to 11. That's a Spinal Tap reference for you people. hopefully, am I loud enough, everyone in the chat now?
At least for now, I think that's okay.
Okay.
I'm seeing the levels are higher at least.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So that's kind of the Files app. Like the other thing is like when you open LumaFusion, if you go into the settings part of LumaFusion, there's a bunch of like preset options in there.
Okay, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, okay, I'm just to say this is like one of the main things that I wanted to figure out originally is just like file management. You kind of just have to do it outside of the app. I mean, I guess that's honestly in some ways true of Final Cut also, but you can do more in the app with Final Cut. Let's just put them separate.
Exactly. Like file management, when I was going through film school and stuff like that, I had a teacher, he like really instilled upon us like proper organization when it comes to file management and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something at the time I didn't really take for granted. But once I started working on bigger and bigger projects, it's so important.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing to admit, but once when I was in film school, we were working on a documentary. We had one shot that we were waiting for. It was going through like some like special effects stuff and stuff like that. And it stayed on a thumb drive. And we exported the deal, realized there was one mistake, went back and fixed that mistake. But while we were fixing that mistake, another person on the team unplugged their thumb drive and then we re-exported it. We did not watch it before we handed it over. So, and this was, I was in high school at the time. So like, I really learned my lesson from this. So like, we handed the project over. They played it in front of like 600 people, and there was a section in there that said "media not available."
Oh
there was
my
like
god!
3-second clip, and it was the most embarrassing thing ever. So, proper organization. Don't leave stuff on external drives. Actually, LumaFusion doesn't even support external drives, so like, don't even worry about it.
Not at all.
I literally bought a 1 terabyte hard drive or 1 terabyte iPad because LumaFusion does not support external hard drives or anything like that, and I was constantly running out of space.
I thought they added something with it, but
maybe they did recently. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But like it's been
so I'm gonna read
but even still, like I don't like using external drives because of the story I just told. Like everything should be locally on the device.
So
and plus it's just faster that way too. So
I can still use it to like export, I don't know, just like move files onto the iPad, but
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if you have a bunch of
like copy
like
it
media or something on an external drive, you can copy it over.
Okay.
That's how I would do it. I would never leave footage, at least anymore. I wouldn't leave footage on an external drive.
Yeah.
But let's go into the settings here. So one of my favorite things in here is like being able to set like defaults for a whole bunch of like aspects. So like for me, like frame rate, I always set mine to 23.98 because I shoot with a Canon camera.
Yeah.
So like I always like to default like what I use, so I'm not constantly having to update this. One thing I do is I set transitions to like a half a second.
I'm looking up at my iPad, 29.97. I did not. I guess I always thought it was 30. So maybe I shouldn't do this while I have it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
wait,
do it
but
while
this
you're
project was no. This one's from.
Well, it won't affect the project.
What did it say? Okay, hold on.
That just is. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You know what? Hang on. Hit cancel.
Yeah, that is a
because that is the current project settings. You have to do it in this mode right here. So
and
if you hit the gear icon right here, this will help set the defaults. So nope, that's still current project settings.
Yeah, weird. See, this is honestly like I just dove into LumaFusion and I was like, there's like 2 screens in this app.
You know,
let me just maybe I don't know. Sometimes that does it. Force quit. It didn't. Nope.
Huh? Why is it doing?
It like won't let me deselect this project.
That's interesting.
The beauty of life. Are you open up? Yeah, I was gonna say you got yours there.
Yeah, I'm opening mine to see, and it's doing the same thing. That's really weird. Yeah,
what?
Yeah, like you said.
See, that's why I was like, how do you edit missing media? Oh god, that's a long error. Would you like to find? No.
Yeah.
That's fine. This is all old footage.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, under normal circumstances, you should be able to set like defaults of options and stuff like that. Like I.
Oh wait, there it is. Preferences. That's settings.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So like
That's
I like to
perfect.
set the frame rate. Like I default all this stuff so I don't have to constantly keep changing between it and things like that.
Should I go
I also
extremely
back up.
wide?
I also up the number of project backups to 5 instead of 3 because
Sure.
it doesn't take up that much space. So it doesn't hurt. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna up mine to 10 right now because it doesn't take up that much space. And having backups is a good thing, especially of creative projects because it sucks to lose projects. So anyways, I like to set this up so we can go ahead and close that and let's open up a video project.
Okay. Real quick, I guess, should I have like all this old stuff? Oh, maybe I did just somehow delete. Yeah, like imported media. I have like 100 gigs, and I don't know what. I'm just maybe we could come to this later also, but
Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff is stuff that lives in that Files app in that on my iPad section.
did you see?
And
Okay, hold on. I have to stop this because did you see the Federico's tip about doing this?
yeah,
I did not know that, and I was like,
oh really?
God damn! Like I was about to make my gestures video, so thank you, Federico. Sorry for swearing.
Yeah, no, that's a handy one. One of my favorite
like,
ones too is if like you have an app in slide over, you can pull down on it too, and
Yeah, like,
and
do that.
it'll put it in split screen.
I
That's
swear to
handy.
God.
And then you could flick between the two. Like you could take the
like
thing and flick
the,
it between the two sides. Yeah, yep.
I swear to
Those are
God,
really
in a
handy.
beta, they had a thing. I'm convinced, and I'm so mad I didn't record it, that there was a thing in like beta 1 last year where if you put it like here, it would go into split view, and then like down here was like 1/3 view, and
Oh,
they should bring
really?
that back. I swear to God, it
Yeah.
happened, and I tweeted about it, and everybody was like, "No, that's not true." And I was like, "All right, well, I imagined it, and then they should do it anyways." So
Yep. That's a feature request. Apple, do that. That's my feedback. But radar, whatever you want to call them now, I don't care.
here, let's just spend 15 minutes submitting a radar right now because that's how long it takes.
we could do a live video just of us.
I could
submitting a
do.
bunch of
I'm gonna
radars.
do. We should do a shortcuts one. Let's get Rosemary and like everybody in, and then just like it's like please fix these bugs. Like all of it's just like crashes all over the place and stuff like that.
Like the top 5 shortcuts people just sitting on a live chat making like feature requests. I don't know if Apple would care for that. Who cares?
I mean, I'm sure the team would appreciate it because they're like, it's just I don't know. I feel like half the time I don't know. Never. Let's continue.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and open up a project.
Okay, cool. I've got this. I just did a Charty live stream a couple days ago, and I'm trying to like edit it down. Should I do the full view?
Yeah.
Just the iconography in general is like a learning curve because it's you just have to like test and.
Yeah, you'll eventually get the hang of it. I like that view right there. I like that, but if you go over to the volume options, so if you tap out of that,
these ones,
and then go to the
here I'll do cursor.
So that volume, that speaker
this
icon,
one,
kind of
okay.
just down below. Yeah, click that.
Well, that's muting it.
Oh, that's muting.
I think they just changed this.
I'm sorry, they moved it. It is the bar icon in the that one. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's kind of how I like having mine set up. Oh, actually, right there. That's perfect. I like having all those options right there because I like being able to turn off tracks. I like being able to mute video tracks and stuff like that because a lot of my videos have voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
So like I go through it, I mute the video tracks while leaving the audio tracks on, and then like I will set like the music track to be lower than the voiceover track and things like that. And this is just kind of the view I like. There's still plenty of room to see the whole timeline, so I'm not too worried about that. So let me pull up here. So the biggest thing that I recommend anyone that uses basically any video editing software, not just LumaFusion, is know your keyboard shortcuts.
Mm-hmm.
On the iPad, if you hold down the Command key, you will see all the shortcuts and stuff like that. I know you don't have a keyboard.
No, I got my Logitech guy.
Oh,
right
okay,
here.
Gotcha. LumaFusion has a bunch of keyboard shortcuts. I highly recommend memorizing them. It's not so much that you can't memorize them, but like if you don't know them, just hold down the Command key and you can look through
I tried to take a screenshot. How do I do this? How do I do this while holding down the Command key and not moving the iPad?
I don't know. Can you?
How's that? Oh, I got to do the the pencil in the corner. I always forget that.
Oh yeah,
Hold
I
on.
forget about the pencil in
Let
the
me try
corner
it.
option.
If anyone doesn't know this, boom, screenshots.
There you go. And there's
Voila.
actually 2 pages of screenshots too, or of keyboard
okay.
shortcuts.
Ooh, that one does bring it into the screenshot mode and the markup mode, which makes sense because you're using the pencil, but you can't do 2 in a row. Like, let me just do. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, and let's just like. Okay, which ones are good? I'll just mark it up as we go.
So let's see here. So split is really important to know.
Okay.
So Command B is the very first one. That's a very important.
I'm just going to use
know.
them actually. I'm just trying to be fancy
go.
with the iPad.
Honestly, I would just like spend some time, try and memorize them.
Split
like as
there.
you edit, like if you find yourself reaching for the keyboard or something like that, just hold down the Command key and see if you can find them.
Okay.
Delete a clip, things like that. It's really important to just kind of know those.
Okay, it's starting, and now I can't stop it.
Spacebar.
Oh, okay. It just wasn't registering it.
There you go.
Okay, let's look.
The other thing to know when you're kind of getting started with LumaFusion is there is a linear and a non-linear way of editing.
Okay.
So in the very main track, you kind of see an arrow right next to the lock on the far left side over by the volume indicator. So that right there, if you toggle between those two, that will give you a linear and a non-linear version. So
snap.
That version right there is kind of more free-forming. So like you can kind of put clips wherever, but it doesn't automatically lock things into place. So like if you were to delete a clip right now, it wouldn't just shift everything over for you automatically.
So that's like because Final Cut, is it ripple editing? No, that's still just a different
ripple
thing.
delete.
But it's still like I can't remember the name. The like the way Final Cut does it has the same like the timeline always exists as like the full set of material, but this is like a static timeline that you can pick something out of and it'll nothing will shift for it. So this is that like this way is it's like snapping
everything.
Okay.
Exactly. Like there will always be something there. If you do that right there and delete something, it just fills in a blank clip instead. So like if you were to delete something out of the main timeline, it would just put in a blank clip. It wouldn't snap everything that was in front of it
the
back.
rest of my project. Oh, well, that doesn't count
actually,
because that was the rest of my material.
You got to hit like the clip before that.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
And so like there you go. And then now if you were to toggle that, so if you were to toggle, so delete that and then toggle it, so it just fills in a blank video clip.
So you can do that.
But if
by
you were to delete,
you could do that in real time. Just to like you want to turn that on to leave that blank space, but then switch it back. It's not like a project wide set. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like if you were to like without toggling it, just if you delete the blank clip option,
like back here.
Yeah. If you delete that clip. It just automatically fills it back. So you can hit Command Z to bring that back. But
that is neat. Like, it's like I want to leave a gap here for. That's what I was trying to figure out is how to disable clips. Can you do that?
There's a couple of ways you could do that. You could either just turn off a track, so the eye icon, you could just turn off a video track, or you could
I see. Okay.
Insert a blank clip over it. The one thing to keep in mind is, so you see those lines between your audio and your video clips?
Yeah, I did that intentionally, but
yeah, those lock the video, and basically they will lock whatever they touch together. So you can have multiple video tracks, you can have multiple audio tracks, and they will lock them in place together. If you were to select that video clip and then down at the bottom select the kind of the chain looking icon down at the bottom, that will remove
the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Link.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know why I said chain.
Yeah.
Link.
No, it makes sense.
It's literally.
I think
link. Yeah.
So this is actually external audio that I linked to this. So that's a good example that this clip technically has its own audio in here, which is also it's just to bring up the keyboard shortcuts again. I think it's it doesn't show it here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 switch you between these different editing like modes, which is helpful to learn because. Even still, I don't remember that like that stupid icon means color grading or whatever.
Yeah, the
Sorry
not the
guys,
best
but it's
icon.
like esoteric icons are just legitimately confusing. Okay, now I can't go back.
Yeah, especially since like they should have just the labels next to them. Like there's
Yeah,
enough room,
it's a
but
little.
yeah. I have a lot of complaints, and I've asked for a lot of things when it comes to LumaFusion. Like I've asked for the ability to select multiple clips in a timeline at once, because there's no way to doing that.
Oh
So like
yeah,
if you need to rearrange a bunch
that's
of
good to
video
know.
and stuff like that, it kind of sucks. What you can do, so like if you have a video clip, you can drag it in between two video clips, and it will shift something right there. But
Like
there's no way.
just doing this.
Yeah, so like you do that, and
Oh
like
yeah, I
you
can see it kind
you
of
gotta get
snapping.
it. Yeah, you gotta get the very front of it right there.
Yeah,
It'll
it
shift
worked,
it
but
in
yeah.
between the two.
I don't want to
Actually, I'm
destroy my
sorry. If
video.
you actually have to toggle it back to the linear editor.
Oh, okay,
So
good
like
call.
and then you should
That
be
was
able to do it.
easier. Oh, nice.
Actually hit cancel. No,
Well,
you have to get it like right in
okay,
the
I see.
center.
I want
It's
to just read
very
this real quick because
precise.
it's this. I can intentionally replace the clip
Correct.
and use. This is like a tip that I actually didn't really. I just like didn't have the use case for, and I was rewatching. I took like the Ripple training for Final Cut stuff, and just being able to like time it to fit is really nice. Although I'm curious, do you know if you've ever done this? Can it speed up clips for you if it retimes it, or
Yes. So what it'll do is it will inherit the effects of that clip. So like if
cool?
you had color correction or something on that clip, it will inherit that. But if you already have something on that, basically it'll double it up. So like I use this mode a lot when I do like reshoots and stuff for
Yeah,
videos.
nice.
So like I'll put in like the bad clip, and then what you could do if you hit cancel replace there,
Yeah,
you can select a clip and then hit the eye icon, the information icon,
this one.
right underneath the preview. Yep. And then hit the I just pointed at the screen like you could see me. Yeah, hit that button right there. And then so I use those color labels for a
Yeah.
lot of different things. I use red to know like, hey, this is a clip that's just temporarily in here, and I need to do a reshoot for that. So like I'll mark it
Okay.
as red, so that way, and then like if you
Nice.
close that, you will see on the kind of the timeline mini map essentially, you will see that clip will become red. So like you can see on the little mini map there that
What
it's a red icon.
what mini map are you referring?
So right underneath the video, you see like those
Oh,
blue
this
bars
thing.
and green
Okay.
bars. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
That's
like
the.
we just
I don't
can't
know
see
what.
it because it's so small.
Yeah, because there's a marker right over it.
This it's also like, I mean, that's what I was. My particular workflow here that I have a 1 hour long video that I'm just chopping up doesn't bode well with this timeline view. But also just to say, like, I couldn't figure out how to color this clip. I thought I was just coloring this whole thing, but like, see if I turn this purple, this timeline visualization shows it there. That's cool.
Yep.
Have you seen, by
Yep.
the way, Slugline 2? I guess you're on iPad. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say once they bring that to iPad, I'm pumped. But they have like a timeline view for your scripts. It's almost like this before you get to the video. Because another thing I'm trying to do is I want to like dictate an entire script, put it in here, chop it up into the moments that I need, and then shoot the B-roll for like the 10-second, because I know it'll be only 10 seconds. I don't know. That might be the whole video pre-production workflow is maybe that we should save that for another stream.
I mean, that's kind of what I do too. Like I write out a whole script, record the script, edit the script, then film a bunch of B-roll basically. Like I don't do a whole lot of me sitting in front of a camera very often. But yeah, and that it takes forever. Like that way of making videos is incredibly slow. It's why I don't
but
put
they're
out a
better.
ton of videos.
My way is doing that, but not getting to the editing part. So you're doing all right.
The other thing too is like transition effects. So like I hate the placement of this, but I don't know where a better place for it to go. But in the top left corner, that folder icon, if you were to tap on that,
actually, that's how Final Cut does it. It doesn't make any sense either, so don't worry.
Yeah, I'm very used to. I think I've spent probably the most amount of time editing in Premiere Pro, so I'm probably even still used to that. But there's a bunch of options for like importing stuff in there. There's story blocks options in there. I am going to advise against signing up for story blocks through LumaFusion. I did it for a little while. I used the music in there, and every time I used the music, I got a copyright strike.
Oh man, that's not
yeah,
good.
so I was kind of ticked because like I was spending money on that, and then their solution was, oh yeah, email us and then we'll get the copyright strike taken down. But like, I don't really want to deal with that.
Yeah,
if you're looking for a music service, Epidemic Sounds is fantastic. Yeah, every YouTuber uses them now.
Chill beats to chill to.
Exactly.
Super chill.
And they have like a huge variety of music. It's just not, yeah, exactly. And they have sound effects and stuff like that too. So I totally advise against the story blocks.
Copy and paste is coming soon, by the way.
I will believe that when I see it. No, that's I've heard that one before. If you hit the arrow and go back in that option there.
Is that still bright? Did it just get? Oh no, I see.
It's because you have that open right now. So that you could go into transitions, and there's a whole bunch of options in here. One of the things that I like to do, so right next to the magnifying glass icon, kind of just below all that, there is the that icon right there. Yeah, I switch it to the grid view.
Nice. That makes
sense. Just because like it displays more, like you can see more. And these are kind of nice to use. They're great because they're preset. They're really easy to do. You just drag and drop them into place.
Sorry, I just tried to
use them in like half a second.
I just tried to type a comment on the chat, and then I was doing it on the iPad because I switched the keyboard. It's Epidemic Sound, by the way. He was saying,
yeah. Yeah, so I like to use these like in half-second increments because I really don't like it when transitions last a really long time. So like 15 frames is like the maximum.
Are they default 2 seconds?
So I believe they're defaulted to a whole second. But like in that preset like area, like where you set up all like the preset options for your project and stuff like that, you can change those to be you can
probably. Can I do it system-wide or
if you go into settings? I think this remembers it for every project, but like you just do transition. It's that very last option, and I just do that to 15 frames.
Are these are frames, not seconds?
Yeah. So so anything that's point. So the way the way time code works is it's frames, seconds, minutes, hours.
That's cool, and it's totally obvious, and not something that I didn't learn a long time into it using Final Cut. Just like what the heck that meant.
Yeah, a lot of people think that's milliseconds, but then freak out when it stops at 24 or 29 or something like that. But no, time code is frames.
Because I set it to 30. Hours. Wait, this is still.
Yes.
No, that's okay.
That's because like it was a web recording. After you had already started this project.
Okay, nice. So that's smart. Let me just double check. It's not in here either. Okay. That's cool though. That alone, I would just spend 10 seconds every single transition changing that. Like, thank you. Mm-hmm. Ducking, should I do this also? Like,
so I don't use automatic ducking. I've never been able to get it to be happy. So like I will use keyframing. So let's talk about that for a second.
I guess, okay. I am curious because that's one of the problems with this project is that his audio sounded like decent to me when I was streaming, but then listening back, it was just like fairly quiet. And maybe that's like, I hope that's not still happening on this one, that yours sounds good to me. It's great on my side. But like I'm curious if I could actually reverse duck him every single time. And I'm curious if that'll be faster than keyframing. Oh no, I just changed this. What was it? Let me reset it. No. 20? 30? Did anyone see it? Okay, somebody says the auto ducking isn't very good either. So
yeah, I don't use auto ducking. I just use keyframing. It takes way more time, but like the result is way better.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the trackpad and stuff like that. That's like probably one of the reasons I didn't do it. Use the LumaFusion before, because like I'm sure you have RSI from doing shortcut stuff too. So it's like trackpad stuff is glorious. Even just I just want to just go into shortcuts and just scroll, because this not having to touch my hand to the screen is just like I can sit back like this and do it. Like, I'm sorry, I always have to do that. I need to actually.
I know. But I'm the same way. Like, you can't see. It's just slight. Actually, here, if I move my head, there you go. You can see the iPad mounted to the wall.
We got to do that next
shortcuts and
time.
stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Like, I'm
okay.
using push cuts and stuff like that on it.
Should we get Simon on at the same time? Because he said he wants to.
Yeah,
Adam wants
that would be
to. I'm
fun.
going to stream with Adam next week also. So
That would
let's
be
do it.
fun.
We got to do like huge group streams.
Yeah, that just get a whole bunch of people and be like, okay, like shortcut showdown
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
like that. I don't know. 5 shortcuts
Yeah.
enter, 1 will leave.
Who's got the
So,
most actions in a show? No, I don't want to do that.
Oh no, I don't want to.
No.
Federico will beat all of us.
Yeah.
That's it. Federico
Adam,
won.
I'm pretty sure Adam would be like, he like built a service for integrating with
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's,
right.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's why I gotta
think I think the shortcut that I have with the most actions is MusicBot Plus, but then I think like the one after that is the launch cuts, like kind of builder one.
Stu will probably come in with Calf Life and Charty soon. And for anyone curious, Pushcuts is a shortcuts based app that lets you like send notifications to yourself later or based on triggers, and then you still have to manually, although not always. That's what you're doing. If you have an extra iPad, it can literally automatically run your shortcuts for you. So definitely check out Pushcut. Do they have a web? I don't know what the website is. Let's find it.
Is it?
I was looking up Diane Sawyer. Why? Somebody was talking about that.
Pushcut.io.
What was that? I don't remember. Somebody said that they look like Diane Sawyer, and I was like, what does she look like again? Oh, man, that's embarrassing.
That's okay. It could be way worse.
Yeah, I don't know. What other tabs do I have? No, I'm just kidding.
I love Pushcut. I've been using the crap out of it lately. It's just been a fun project to work on while I've been stuck at home. I had an old iPad I can mount, and I've been doing some fun stuff with it.
Nice.
Zapier, if you're really into Zapier, that's a good thing to combine with.
Can we just stream every day for like the next month and then figure out all of this together? Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that works. So let's talk about keyframing for a minute, because I think keyframing is really important. So let's start with audio, because I think audio is probably where keyframing comes in handy the most.
Here, this clip.
So if you double tap on an audio track.
Here, wait, hold on. Let me see to select the clip. Let's try to get the shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts, keyboard accelerators.
There you go.
According to that's what Craig Federighi said to disambiguate from shortcuts, because my keyboard is now not connecting.
I know, all of a sudden my keyboard is not showing keyboard shortcuts, and I don't remember what that one is off the top of my head. I didn't follow my own advice and memorize them all. Because I find double tapping just to be really easy, or double clicking on it to be fine. It's
audio tool. I am curious though, like, can you switch? Select clip at playhead. Insert overwrite. Clip info. No. Also, it says that they have the Framio integration, and then it's not actually live yet. Like, I was trying to do it.
I thought it was.
Or at least their blog didn't say it, so I'm curious. Clip info is 0?
I don't use frame.io. I probably should, but...
Yeah, we should. I'll give you... not that you need... I don't know. I was going to say I'll give you feedback, but that sounds like I'm being mean.
I've been really terrible lately about like getting feedback on my videos before I push them live. I've just been like working all night and then making them go live.
Yeah. Why can't I tap that? What's going on? Okay. So let me just split this clip real quick too, because
sure.
Does it have snapping?
So
there we go.
If you use the arrow keys, there you go. So if you use the arrow keys, it'll take you to the last cut. Up and down, that is an important one to do. So if you go to the very last one, and then you can hit Command B to cut. Okay. Or actually, go to the last one, and then you can hit C to select. So like it'll select that. Hit C one more time.
That's what I was looking for. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
I should have just waited for you to say something. Great.
There you go.
Okay,
and
split
then just
that.
Hit Command V.
But then we want to go back.
and then so you can hit the left key to go back
Yeah,
one frame.
Okay, nice. That's sweet.
And then you could hit like C again or whatever, or just double tap on a clip.
If I do this show touches setting, does that also show keyboard shortcuts? This actually freaked out on me last time with the trackpad, so I don't.
Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, the other thing too, right there. So where it says preview, good. If you have one of the modern iPad Pros, you can set it to best and you won't have any issues. You could do 4K.
Sweet.
4K previews. Yeah, no problem.
I'll push that to the
I don't
limit.
do the show touches because I've been using the trackpad and stuff, but yeah, you can if you want to.
Good enough. So audio, press C to switch again. Nice.
Yeah.
Can you? What is double tap also is that edit clip?
Yeah.
Which
so that'll
is
bring up like the
back
edit,
tick.
like the.
Is that what you're trying to do?
That's what it is. Yeah. Okay, that's what it is.
Or I could have hit the
that
audio shortcut to whatever that was. 4.
Which is 4.
Okay.
Yeah. No, wait, that's not right.
Is it?
I don't know.
No, it is. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's different for this maybe when you're selecting audio.
Gotcha.
Oh wait, is that the right clip? Hold on. How do I get back? That? Okay.
Just hit the
okay.
arrow
No,
key.
it is the right clip. Just making sure. It's keyframing.
Okay. So keyframing is one of those things that is in every video editor, Final Cut, Avid, Premiere. They all have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important to have. You could basically think about this as like automation editing. So next to the volume, where it says the volume label, where there's those dots, wherever the oh my gosh, I forget what this line thing's called. Basically, wherever
like the gain
playhead,
yeah.
Wherever that is, it will place a keyframe when you tap that button. So you can just put it right at the beginning.
Yeah, because I'm here. Wait, is it the preview isn't matching? Oh, okay, it's like right here is where when I bring him in, we need to like.
That's because it's shifted over just slightly because there's the volume, there's the gain levels right there. So that's why like it's shifted over just slightly.
That's not what I mean though. It's even like this clip I thought was only entirely him, but maybe I'm just mistaken. Here, let me just clip it there at the right point. Actually, I do like, this is like one of the, just like, I love doing it with your hands sometimes because that's the benefit of LumaFusion. Split there. Boom, boom. Like, you can use keyboard shortcuts, but it's also just touch-based, which is awesome.
Yeah, I honestly, I use a combination of the two.
Yeah.
I typically have, like, lately I've had one hand on the keyboard and one hand on the trackpad.
Why don't I just do it like this?
There you go. I hate LumaFusion in portrait mode, by the way. I think
it's terrible slightly, but also you can do it. So, like,
yeah,
it's
totally
like maybe
doable.
I'm a little sick of doing that right now. Let's just do this for the sake of... It is okay. Now it's tripping me out a little bit, but let's do it.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to see on the video.
Okay, fair. Everybody's like, please don't.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the important bit. Okay, so where the playhead is, go ahead and hit that volume button, those circles right next to the volume button. So that will insert a keyframe wherever
here.
the playhead is. Yep.
I'll do it right at the beginning. So that just for like overall thing is that. In keyframing, you like place a point, then you place another, and then by moving up at that point, like you have to do like a bunch of like the audio change in and out, and then again in and out multiple times.
Yes.
Like
so the way keyframes work. So if you go ahead, so right now our volume. So this is just for volume. You could do keyframing for like different things like position, scale, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
This right here is just for the volume because that's what the label is. So you could drag that along. You could make that as loud as you want.
I think I need
Then
to...
drag the playhead forward just a bit.
You can't really tell because this is such a long clip.
Or
did I keyframe at... Okay, this is part of the experience. So let's... Sorry, I'm jumping ahead, but like how do you move between keyframes and things like that?
Okay, but that's the thing. So just drag the playhead forward, move it forward. Right there is fine. Then now change the volume.
Just drop it just because.
Yeah,
exactly. Not that I'm actually going to do that.
So now since you changed it, it automatically adds another keyframe. So basically it will start
once I start moving.
Yeah, so it will automatically just start turning the volume down itself. One thing I really want LumaFusion to add is hold keyframes. This is something Adobe does in Premiere Pro that basically the keyframe doesn't change at all, like in between the two keyframes. It holds until it gets to that, and then it'll just jump. So instead of having like this nice like
the transition.
Yeah, it's mirrored
Yeah.
for me. I'm doing it but you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Like instead of it having a transition, it would just go audio, 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 boom, and
Okay.
then like over and stuff
That
like
makes
that.
sense.
So that's something I really want because like it's great for like animation and stuff like that. But you could trick that into putting like a keyframe like a frame ahead of that. And essentially doing that. So like if you put
just two quick ones like there.
yeah, exactly.
Then...
If you put a keyframe in front of our second keyframe right now, you could simulate a whole keyframe like that.
That delay is bad. Pausing it like doesn't immediately pause it, but that's okay. Real quick, for these icons, would this delete the last keyframe?
That would delete all keyframes.
Okay. Undo.
And then
this one you can manually create.
That will will manually add a keyframe. Or if you go and hover back over, so if you put the playhead directly above a keyframe,
it's not letting
that
me...
add keyframe will change into a delete keyframe. So you can manually delete just that one keyframe if need be.
So then like I could do another one here, go over here, bring up the audio, and then that's basically I just ducked it.
Yep. And you can also, so like if you opened up like panning or like the option right underneath that one, under volume, you could also keyframe like the pan. So if you wanted to make it sound like somebody was talking on the left and then move to the right, you could do that with keyframing.
I've had that before where I think my input was only recording the left track.
Well, so
and
the
then
other
you just
thing
pan
too is
45 to the right.
If like, so my audio interface only records the left audio track. So what I do is if you go into configuration, and this may not work because, okay, so you could do channels. So you could set this right here. Nice. So you could say fill from left, fill from right. So basically it will just take the left channel and make it the right channel as well. Cool. So I do that
compensation. Because that's actually, now that I think about it, it's probably a setting on the Mac app for my Tascam. But if I recorded into my iPad, I would have the same issue. So that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really handy to do. You could do it with Ferrite. I do a lot of my audio recording in Ferrite as well. Above all that, there's a bunch of audio effects. I will be completely honest. I only know about what half of those do.
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm not a huge audio person. Like I do a lot of audio recording. I have a nice audio setup, so I don't have to do a lot of like audio effects or anything like that. But like you can do like low pass filters if you need to get rid of like a low humming sound or something like that. Or if you have like an electric guitar and you need to add some distortion, you could do that. There are options in there.
Yeah, because I shoot with the shotgun mic for the like A-roll of videos and not this thing. And this sounds great, but I don't actually know how to, like, I'm assuming the low pass filter, like it always, that sounds like what I want, but then I put it on and it's like, and I'm like, I paid a bunch of money for that isotope, and then I was like, fix it, please. Just fix it.
That's, I just spent a bunch of money up front on decent microphones, so I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Because audio is one of those things that if you get it wrong, a lot of people will complain about it. Yeah. So like I'm just like, you know what? I will spend a bunch of money up front, make the audio good, and that way I don't have to deal with it.
But you use a podcast mic, right? Or
so for any videos that I do VO, I use this mic right here. It's my Shure SM7B that goes into my Scarlett Solo and records onto my iPad. But I also just like soundproof the room. So my brother's an audio engineer. So he like puts on big concerts and produces albums and stuff like that. So he just helped me like soundproof this room so it sounds quite a bit better.
I want to know all that.
Oh yeah, basically wooden frames with insulation and fabric over it. Easiest way.
I just have a piece of foam core with these.
So those things
silky smooth.
So those things are good. They're cheap. The problem is they're really thin. So I took some of those and I Gorilla glued 3 of them together. So I put like 2 of them facing inside out, so they're together, and then 1 on the outside. I don't have access to them because they're literally glued to the walls right now.
Yeah.
So I can't do anything. But that way they're thicker because you want as much like
Yeah, that
foam
makes
or
sense.
insulation. You want it to be as thick as possible. So that will make audio sound a lot better. So keyframing, that's keyframing for audio. If we opened up a video clip, you could do this for positioning, scaling, things like that as well. You could do that.
If I want a favorite, can I like save a preset of a duck and then or whatever and then add this over time to like speed up the process later?
I don't know if it saves keyframing. I know it saves like effects. I don't think it saves the keyframing. So like if you were to do like if you were to create like a
But couldn't this be like if I apply this move here, bring it down, keyframe, move ahead, and then hit that, or I guess it overrode it. I could have manually, we were close, do that. Now I hit this. Nope. It's overriding the whole track.
Yeah, it's overriding it. So, okay, yeah, it does save the keyframes then. So it will override whatever you have. I don't have any of those presets saved with keyframes, but I do have them saved for like different situations.
Like what?
One of the thing. So actually, here let's get into. Do you have those assets I sent you?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that at the beginning of this. That you literally, I was like, let's have a casual tips stream, and you're like, here's your lesson plan. Like here's materials that I've prepared for you to download. Oh no, they didn't. These ones didn't. Let me see if it actually did it in Dropbox. I do have decently fast internet.
Well, let's drag them into that user media file so that way they're there.
See, it's downloaded here, but not in the Files app. Is that gonna? Maybe I can.
It should be fine. We'll just import them, or we could move them to the Files app.
Let me just hit this.
Your best bet, if you go, just take that Dropbox folder.
Look, I think they're already downloaded. I think it's just being a.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. Nope.
Oh, we broke the Files app, which is not very hard to do.
Just do any file management. Okay, let's get those. Yeah, it's okay. No, it's got them. It's just saying that. So I need to move these into LumaFusion locally.
Yeah, move them into the user media folder.
Should I just get the whole thing?
Folder. I would just drag the whole folder.
Okay, drag. LumaFusion, doing that dance. Is it? Okay, there we go. User. So okay, so the main tip with this, I forgot to ask that, is like always user media.
Yeah, that's the one it has access to. Like that's your best bet. I just save everything there.
What? That's not what? That wasn't. I tapped LumaFusion in Open Safari.
So let's start a new project so we don't mess this one up anymore. And then let's just set the frame rate to 23. Actually, you know what? It doesn't make a difference because I didn't send you any. Yeah, just set it to 23.98.
Just in your
really
honor.
Make a difference.
Ooh, okay. I hit this. What is that?
We don't want files because that will try and just import stuff from the Files app. So go ahead and hit cancel.
Can I keep like a repository somewhere else and then this is just an import method? That's what I don't understand. Like this doesn't make.
What you wanted. Wait, and I hate the way they labeled this.
Yeah,
I don't like the way they labeled it. So hit the X button there, and I'll show you the easiest way to get into the user media folder. So hit that button, hit imported, and that's the user media folder right there. That's everything in the user media folder. So
this is local data, and then this is how you add into the local folder. That never made sense to me.
So if you were to add something from Dropbox, it would just add it to the user media folder. It would be under the folder called Other App. Yeah, technically we can, and it would be put in the folder called Other App.
Which is what I don't like doing
it because that's not organized. Like it's not as clear to me. So if you go into that folder, the stream folder.
I just want to see these views. Okay, because that is slightly confusing in this view.
Yes, but I like that view a little more.
But then I get to hear
like once you get all the data, and specifically like actually, so like I like that view right there for assets because you can see resolution and frame rate. Mm-hmm. So like sometimes I film stuff at 23.98, sometimes I film stuff at 60 frames per second, so then I can slow it down.
54.55. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the native screen capture thing. It tries to capture it at 60 frames per second. It's really dumb.
I mean, you can, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm a zealot for 24 frames per second, but whatever.
Yeah, well, with
so
the like, this is moving that fast, so like people can't even see it because my thing isn't that high.
So if you go ahead and drag the iPad screen capture footage, just drag that to the timeline. You could, so right this? There, actually, so the yellow bars right there, those are in and out points. In and out points basically set what gets dragged into the timeline when you drag it. So like if you say action, something waits a second or so to start, then you can do that. You can set in and out points with I and O.
I'm just looking for there it is. Mark in, I and O. Clear mark in, shift I and O.
Yeah, that's
and then inserts also is actually what we.
Insert is W. Yep.
So if I scroll, like how do I? I guess you would just watch it.
There's a
drag?
few different ways that you can do it. You can scroll, or you can watch it, and then when you find it, you can just hit I.
It's not letting me scroll. I'm doing it off to the side. Can you have to like literally drag it, or like should it let you pan through with this?
Oh, no, it does once it's in the timeline. You have to drag it.
So it's like,
sorry,
you kind of do whatever there. Yeah, it is like you kind of just stalled here for a second. So that's the end point, and then
like you could just play it and then use I and O to set the in and out if you wanted to just watch through the whole clip. And then hit W to insert that into the main timeline. Okay.
Okay. So one question before we move on for me. This clip now, okay, you can see it over here. It has the in and out points. It does remember that. I think that's something that when I first did it, it felt like I got confused later. Or I guess when I have like an hour-long clip, can it do, two things. Can it do multiple in and outs on the same clip at once? Or would I do one in and out, import it, then do it again and import it? Do you know what I mean?
So you would do an in and out, and then import it, and then another in and out, and import it, and then another in and out, and import it.
And then it. Oh, okay, it does remember it. That visual. Yeah. I'm looking for this visualization right here on the side.
Exactly. So it'll show you what part of the clip you've used before, which is really handy because a lot of times, like I'll film like 2 minutes of me sitting at an iPad working, and I'll use like 10 seconds from here, 15 seconds from there, 5 seconds from another spot.
I'll shoot A-roll for an hour long straight, and 20 minutes of it is me going, no!
Exactly.
One time my neighbor literally was like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I did not realize I was yelling. Like,
yeah, that's probably one of the benefits of having this room soundproof is my neighbors don't hear me screaming anymore. So one of the things I get, so can you drag the playhead back to that first clip?
Over here or
no, in the timeline. Okay. In the timeline. Okay. So
let me press C to select it. Okay.
I need to show that. One of the things I get asked about the most is how I get like the embedded iPad look from like the screen capture. So if you drag the iPad template file on top of that video.
On top, literally up here, or
Yep. Okay. Drop. Yep. Right. No, the second clip, second timeline. Yep. So that overrides it right there. What you can do is go ahead and double tap on that. And then go into the color and effects option. It's that one that we were complaining about the icon.
This one.
Yep, go into there. And so right here, there's a few options. Up at the top, you get to Yep, up at the top, you get to jump between a few things. So like right here is color correction. The next one over is LUTs.
Why does it not let me select the UI? Am I just missing my taps? It's weird. I feel maybe I'm just that one. Crazy. Oh, Chris or Jeff didn't know that we were streaming. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. I thought I told you. Sorry.
Tell everybody about your podcast real quick.
Hi, yes, Jeff and I have a podcast. It's called Slab of Glass. We talk about stuff, tech stuff. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I yell at things. So this is the screen we want right here. So this is iPad. So this is green screen right here. So this will key out the green from the iPad.
Can I get to that screen or no? I just have to manually do it. Okay. Everything should be keyboard shortcut Luma, please.
Yes. Oh, more keyboard shortcuts would be fantastic. Yeah. So now what we need to do is we need to go back.
What is it? Green screen or light Luma?
No, we want green screen. We want green screen, and I'll explain why in a minute. But we want green screen, but we have to go back because we need to make the iPad fit into the frame.
Yeah, and then
so if you double click on the iPad,
let me do one frame and fit.
Yes, so we want frame and fit. So the very first thing we need to do is go into fit mode, and this is also one of those things you can default. So you want to set it to fit, not fill, because fill will stretch everything to make sure it takes up the whole screen. Fit will just make sure the whole image fits on the screen, but put black bars.
Or that's a vertical, if you want to be the vertical video with black bars around it.
Nobody should do vertical video. Vertical video is bad. What? No, what?
Oh wait, hold on. I'm doing this manually, and that's probably not.
Don't
I was
don't
gonna
do
say
it manually.
you've got to know your positioning.
I do know the position.
Or
so now what we have
a favorite.
Is go into size position.
Do you have
I do. Okay, so I do have a favorite for this. Let me pull it up here so I make sure I tell you all the right stuff.
Sure.
So what you should do is in position here. We want to set the size. We want to do the size first, and the size needs to be 90. I've just done this enough that I know it enough times.
Oh God, how do I get it back to 0? Okay, size is so you're going 90% of the total size just 90, to shrink out.
So just shrink
10% on either side of. Like that's just happened to how this fits. Oh, and then X.
And then X, you want to be about 21.4, I believe. That background's different than the one that I have in front of me right now, so it might be.
Can I
but
zoom?
That should be about right.
Nope, that didn't work.
Nope.
Oh my God.
There's no pixel zoom. I wish there's no.
That was not
really
cool for it to just totally. Okay, and it also is now.
And I also hate that you can't tap on the numbers and just manually type it in.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, but you want that to be 90.
Okay.
So the other thing that you could do, so hit that star button, right, kind of that one right there, and then you could just favorite this. I could just call it something like iPad green screen or something.
Somebody's asking in the chat, how do you make the custom assets? And it's just like Pixelmator or something.
Yeah, it's just Pixelmator. So what I did was I literally just Google image search iPad or green screen color, took a screenshot of the green screen color so that way it was the proper resolution, opened Photos and used the Federico Vitici's iPad screen framing iPad framing shortcut thing. So that got me the frame, and then I just used Pixelmator and put the table background and stuff together. So
this guy's saying to get it back to 0, just tap the bar in the slider. Oh, nice, it does do it.
Oh,
but you can't. Or I guess now that we favorited it.
Yeah,
shouldn't
now that you favorite it.
Did I? I don't think I did.
You might have to close the size and position. Wait,
I don't think I
saved
it.
Showing up? Oh, okay.
I have to hit that and then.
There you go.
Every time.
Yeah. So now we can do all sorts of. Yep, there you go. So so now that will always be there. But then there's something even cooler. So if you go back.
To where? Like just this?
The main timeline.
Okay.
There should be in that. Oh yes, the second option, the TSU logo. If you drag that on there on the timeline, drag it to the third option there.
Third. What are those called? Lanes?
Tracks.
Okay.
So that right there, it's my logo. It's a PNG background that I knew we wouldn't get in trouble for using. So not that I'm trying to promote my stuff or anything, but yeah. So what you could do, so go ahead and double tap on that because that's way too big.
I pressed 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works too. So you want to make that, let's put that in the top left corner where there's a blank section. So size that way down.
So you wouldn't, if you do this, you can just do it. Oh, wrong one. Actually, nope. Oh, I've done everything wrong. Undo, undo, undo. Now tap that. If I just move it, it's still doing it there.
Yeah,
but
you can
just
do
want to be
that
more
too.
Specific,
I just get a little more precise with the icons. I'd scale it down just a little bit more because of what we're gonna do.
What size?
There you go. Maybe a little bit bigger.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So that kind of looks a little boring.
Flat.
We just dropped an image and stuff like that over that. So if you close that, the size and position. No, yeah. Actually, I'm sorry. You were right there. Close size and position.
Oh, I see.
And open up blending.
Nice.
And so what blend modes do is essentially take like two different images and essentially blend them together. So there's a whole bunch of options in here. I think the one that we want is soft light.
That's a lot of options in a
So
scroll wheel.
Yeah, and I can't see it super well.
Yeah, I got it.
But it should start to like almost make it look like it's kind of like a coffee stain almost.
Yeah, it's like imprinted.
Or that it's kind of burned in. Like you can use soft light, or there's another one that's
so wait, you can't called? Like double tap to preview. Is there a? Yeah, that is kind of frustrating.
Yeah, there's no what you can do. So if you go
external
back,
monitor.
If you go back to the timeline,
exit to timeline, tilde thing or backtick,
and then you can double tap or double click on the video preview option, and you can get that. That's
there.
About
You can
the best
see it
you can
now.
Do.
I can.
Yeah.
Just for, nah, just kidding. Yeah, look.
There you go.
It looks like a coffee stain. Ooh, that's.
Yeah, it looks like a coffee stain. Like there's some cool things you can do with blending modes. That's actually a recent feature they added, and I was really happy when they added blending modes because that's kind of fun. That's a big thing in like Photoshop and stuff like that is blend modes. So there's that. Another thing that I put in that asset list is there's that 2.39 to 1 title bar. You can drag that on top. And LumaFusion, third one from the bottom. Okay. Third one from the bottom.
That one.
LumaFusion, not just LumaFusion, but like you can add bars and stuff to make things look a bit more theatric. It doesn't work very well in this situation, but if you had like a video clip or something like that, you can make it look a lot more theatric.
Interesting. Why? Oh, just because you did that. Of like, I mean, even I see like, I don't necessarily feel great about evoking Peter McKinnon, but I've just seen him do it, where you transition from A roll to cinematic B roll, and it like brings in or like Westworld did it. I mean, they did it more with cameras, but like when you're in Dolores's in like the Brit robot, I don't know if you watch it, but in the like digital world, they like change the way it looks and it's cinematic like that. So
I haven't seen season 3 yet.
No, this was from season 2, but also maybe you're not missing a whole lot.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about season 2. Season 1 was great. I love season 1.
Yeah, exactly.
So that you could do things like that. If you there's the animated title. Let me back up first. So LumaFusion has titles. If you want to just do static titles or like animate it with like the position, keyframing and stuff like that, you could do it. But I'm a little disappointed in LumaFusion's title selection. There's not really a great way to animate it, and there's nothing like motion or After Effects or anything on the iPad right now. I would kill for motion or After Effects or something on the iPad. Probably not kill, but you know what I mean. But I've been using this new app called Mojo. I don't even know if it's new, but it's one of those apps that's totally meant for like Instagram influencers and stuff like that. But it supports 16:9 video.
It's a mobile journalists, is why it's called Mojo. I follow people from the BBC. It's like I think it's really huge in just journalism because they like have to be out there shooting on their phones now and then edit a video down.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. But anyways, so I've been using this app lately, and I don't have any videos that are live with it just yet. But it has a bunch of presets in here. It's not a cheap app. It's $40 a year, which for me is great because I'll definitely get the use out of it. But like, there's a whole bunch of presets and stuff in here that you can build from and build off of. And I put a couple in that template folder we could show off. That way but you can kind of see here some of the cool stuff that they're doing.
It's like I want it for the workflow, not necessarily their aesthetic design choices. All the time.
And the and the 12.9-inch version of the app is really bad, especially once you set the default to be 16:9. Like it really is bad, but it works. A couple people in the chat, including Chris, who actually has some great LumaFusion videos on like making animated titles and stuff, mentioned you can use Keynote to make animated titles. You absolutely can. What I like about this is it's a little bit more artsy, and it's less work.
Yeah.
But the way I do it, so if you go back to LumaFusion.
Oh yeah, you said you had some.
Yeah, I put some in here. So let's.
Also, he is saying don't put don't manually put black bars on it. Just do a different resolution.
Oh yeah,
but I
yeah,
guess
you
it
can't
depends.
just do it.
Yeah, if you're going to use it in a video versus don't necessarily just like put black bars on. That's I mean, hey, it's good enough for Disney, so.
And if you
like streaming services.
Just give me The Simpsons in 4:3. No, the one reason to do that is for that cinematic B-roll shot. A lot of cameras like Canon mirrorless DSLR cameras looking at you, Canon EOS R, only shoot in 16:9. So like that's like if I really wanted that look, you could do that, but I don't care. It's mostly just something you can do. So if you go back to the imported folder and go back into our
here.
options here, there is the animated title one. Let's start with the animated title. So or you could do that one too. Either one works.
Yeah. Nice.
So like what you could do is you would just do basically what we did with the iPad background is key it out and then do that. So drag that to the timeline here.
Let me in and out just the actual parts.
Oh, that's one of the things I hate. It's grabbing the out point from the side. You can't do it. You gotta scroll through it. Yeah, there you go. And then now hit O.
Oh, it's not doing it. Is this not connected? What's going on? Is my keyboard literally dead? What the? Come on. It's not doing it. Maybe I'll just move it out. Oh, there it is. It's just like, looks like it's... Oh, it must just be the end. Okay. Well, that was smart. Did you say the app, by the way, is $40 a year?
Yeah, it's $40 a year. Yeah. It's called Mojo, M-O-J-O.
If that saves me time once, that's probably going to be worth it.
Honestly, like
20 hours of work.
I've paid more for a lot less. And honestly, I like their presets. I like the way their titles work. Basically, in the title, like when I build it, I just make the background a green background and then make whatever title on top of that and then key it out. So if you drag that to the timeline...
It can't just do like I guess not video transparency doesn't...
Yeah, no, there's no transparent background.
That's a slick way to do it, honestly.
Yeah, so what you could do, so go ahead and double click on that.
Jumping right ahead.
Yeah, or 5, and then go to the key option.
Okay, it's literally a key slot.
Yeah, and then hit the green screen one, and it'll just key it out. What you can do, if you want to make it even better, you can grab the eyedropper tool and key it out to that specific green.
Oh yeah, that doesn't look
under the chroma key option
here.
Under the chroma key setting, you can grab that.
How do I unkey it?
Click out of that, and then you can grab the eyedropper tool.
This one.
Yeah, grab that, and then you can key it out against the that green. I think you gotta click and drag.
Eyedropper.
Why isn't it going?
There we go.
Why aren't you? There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's way better.
Okay, so that'll make it. It'll key it against that specific color.
Dude, that's slick.
And then you can mess with sometimes if the brightness or something doesn't look right, you can mess with the saturation and the brightness range. I wouldn't mess with the hue range if you use the eyedropper tool to set the green. I wouldn't mess with that. Yeah. So
yeah, fair. But can you change the colors in the app? Yeah, that seems...
What, in Mojo?
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, it by default, it just has a white background. So if you go to...
Oh, these are templates. Okay, I literally didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah, you have to scroll. It's really weird where their blank option is. It's right in the middle of all the templates. It's really stupid. There it is right there. So if you click on blank one right there, actually go back because that wants a photo. So go back.
Oh.
And then do that one right there. And then hit that right there. And then do colors. And then hit the far left option right there, and then just select the bright green.
Yeah,
there you go.
Because they don't have a specific. That's fair.
And then what you can do is there is an option in there that's I think it's the one right next to music. Go one over. There you go. There's 16:9. It's under the Pro features, so I believe you have to pay for it to get that.
I'll try it though.
But you can get 16:9.
I don't want to do it live, but
yeah, exactly. So if you hit exit out of that and then set it back to the vertical video option, and then go to template on the far left. So you could set the length, manual, auto. But what you could do is go to template, and then there's a whole bunch of options in there. There's for photos and stuff like that. You can, but if you tap out of that or hit cancel in the top left, and then just click, hit the plus button right there. Yeah, click that, and then select text. So this is what I do. So this is where like all their there's a ton of options in here, and they say they're adding more options every month. There's a lot of really
word
cool
by
stuff
word
in
with
here.
a snappy slide move.
Exactly. Like there's some really cool ones, and then if you go into social, this one you'll really like. You'll like the social one. There's like subscribe buttons, and like you could put all the stuff in there. I think there's like a subscribe option and stuff in there as well.
Cool, dude.
So like if you wanted a subscribe button,
is this the secrets that you were saying that?
Yeah, so this is the one that I haven't really talked about. So this was I was saving for you. Because I was
going. Thank you. You heard it here first. No.
Yeah, only here. But or until I make a video
I was gonna
a
say.
month about it or something. Because people ask for it.
This
but
is
like,
good,
there's a lot of really cool stuff up in here.
Because it's
like you could just.
I don't want to do any of that. Oh
yeah,
no! I just hit my contact.
and like in After Effects, I used to be I used to be like an After Effects pro, and I haven't used After Effects in years now because I don't have a Mac anymore. But I used to be able to make all this stuff in After Effects. But honestly, I put together a bunch of titles for a video I'm working on the other night, and it took me maybe 3 minutes a title, if not less. And like before, like to make the level of animation that I was using. There's a bunch of fonts.
Can you import the fonts?
Yep.
Oh
yep.
my
if
God!
If you scroll
Chris.
all the way to the left, I think there's an import option, or maybe it's the right in that section.
Pro.
Yeah, import. There you go. It's a pro feature.
You know what they're doing. It's how many people on this stream are gonna like buy this? Because if you're actually doing it,
it's a very specialized thing. But for me, like this will save me a bunch of time that I will probably just make titles in here from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's just like a boring static title, then I'll just make that.
I mean, especially because if your font and the color, everything, that's all you like. What else do you need? Like what? I mean, except for like the animation part, I guess. But that's like if you already know how to do that, you're already doing it in motion. Somebody said I already just bought it. A good question is can you take those animations? I guess if you just like overlay a YouTube button card thing, can it turn into a clickable subscribe button?
I guess if you overlaid the card and stuff like that. I just hate the way the YouTube card stuff works, and it's such a pain in the ass.
It's just it's like not technically on a spot anymore. It just like because most people watch on mobile. Yeah, but you still could when that comes up. You could time a YouTube card. I will show you real quick.
I made I
have a shortcut for going to the page where you add YouTube cards.
Really?
Yeah, this is a fun one. I think I have some, I don't remember even. Oh no, it's broken. I must have changed something.
Oh,
but
no.
if you put this is what it is. Channel. If you just like use this cards and then the video ID, I don't remember what those strings do, but something fancy. Ooh, that looks very bright. But it's like, here's the latest thing I did. Oh, I can even do the one we're doing right now. Open this. I have this whole grab channel link thing, but then it's put it in Safari.
Huh.
It didn't. Okay, that way might not work, but trust me, it works. I will show. Oh yeah, there it goes. When I opened it in like an actual version, then I can just add in the cards. Because this is like I forget to do this. Haven't even done it on this one, and it's like shortcuts. Yeah. But
I have a whole checklist of things that I do when I go through uploading a video because there's just so much you got to do.
Can you send me that?
Yes, I will send that to you. It's like a drafts checklist basically, but it's a shortcut that I run that just makes like the markdown checklist that you can just tap the box next to it and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really handy. I'll send it to you when we're all done and stuff. I think I need to update it because there's some weird stuff happening, but whatever. If you go back to LumaFusion.
Somebody's asking how do you overlay cards on the iPad? It's like through this interface. It's just like the same manual one on the web, wherever you go.
And sometimes YouTube still tries to force open the iPad app and stuff like that. It's just really annoying.
That's, I think, why in the shortcut it uses, I guess that was the other one. Oh, that's why I didn't do it. the grab channel link is the wrong shortcut. That was just trying to open the link, and then it went
Oh,
through
okay.
and then opened this. But
Gotcha.
I think maybe because I manually included that, it can force it or something like that. But yeah. Okay, back to LumaFusion, you said.
Yes. So if you back out of that and then go back to like the assets I sent you, there's another animated title, the subscribe one.
Yeah.
So this one I figured you would probably like. But like it's just like a subscribe button. What
maybe
is
that's
happening here?
that was the picker thing. I bet it just froze.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm just doing this, but LumaFusion, you can just like force quit pretty much at any time, right? It's not gonna unless you're like actively exporting or something. But
don't do it if you're exporting. That subscribe button option. We're in the right deal for the stream right there, and then that subscribe button.
Put it back here.
And you can do the same thing. Just key out the background, and then like you have a nice little like, reminder, hey, people, subscribe, because it actually really does help out. So hit that subscribe button.
In theory, you should key it out, but also here, wait.
And then the other really cool thing, since we're just
here, wait, let me finish this first. Of this. Nope. Click to the black. Is that shouldn't I save this now as this is Mojo?
Yeah, just call it like Mojo Green or whatever.
Green screen. So I just don't have to do that every time. Oh, exactly. It kind of messed up.
You might need to change like the saturation range and the brightness range and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
it was just a tiny bit.
Yeah, and then
there's a little bit on the edges.
You can fix that with the brightness range too.
Oh wait, you can see the green though. But that's we can mess with it later.
And then you can mess with the hue range and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. But the nice thing is, since we keyed that out, you can go back into like the position options and move that subscribe button wherever you want. It doesn't have to be in the place that we put the Mojo deal.
Hold on. Why can I not select it? Let me go up to that point. Oh, because that's why. It's a giant frame.
But you can move it wherever you want. If you don't want those bars, you can go into the cropping option and you can crop all that stuff down if you want.
Can you you can't like save this asset back out as just the cropped version? That would be too
because it would still have to be like because there's no transparent video file format.
Yeah, exactly. That's what somebody was
I'm like questioning myself.
No, somebody said that, and I was like, "Is that even a thing? Like alpha channel video?" I guess I'm just like not
like how there's PNGs cannot have backgrounds and stuff like that. But
a GIF.
But that would be a low quality.
No, I thought you said GIF. So I was trying to like jab you in the side. Okay, good.
GIF is peanut butter, people. No. No. We probably just lost half our subscribers now, both of us right there.
Somebody was saying if you hit this, you can just see just that track that you have selected.
Yeah, so you could turn off all the other background tracks
or
and stuff like
the
that.
opposite, or not both, but that's good. Nice.
Yep. And then you can move that asset around wherever you want or anything like that. There's a bunch of like cool things you can do with it. Oh, you're stone cropping. You got to go. Yeah.
Just make it really, really big, so everybody knows.
Don't forget to subscribe, people.
No, I'm just kidding.
It helps out. We both want our
If you're watching this, you've definitely subscribed already. It's live.
But we both want our silver play buttons, so subscribe again.
Oh yeah, apparently you can do it. Alpha channel video is just movie AVI with transparent effects. Cool.
I did not know that.
I guess it's not something I've just worked with.
Yeah, I haven't done anything like that before. But honestly, I find keying out the background not to be a big deal at all.
It's like
especially like if you save the presets like we did with the Mojo green screen background.
Maybe like just the red and green isn't the best. But
you gotta mess with that hue and you gotta
that
mess
spacing.
With the
Why is it spaced like that? That's making me cringe.
Because
a little
I
bit.
might have messed something up.
No, I'm just kidding.
I probably messed it up when I made it. I definitely wasn't having an adult beverage while making that.
Is this film grain to
Yeah, so you could. Okay, so another thing, if you double tap on that,
5? You telling me to double tap?
and
Man, you got to get them keyboard
I
shortcuts.
know, I know, I just don't remember what that one is, just because I use it. So if you go
Oh.
into, actually, we don't want the effects, we want the position option.
Oh, because that's transparency.
Yeah, so if you go into blending again,
Opacity.
and then drop the opacity to like 15%, you can get like a film grain look. I don't recommend this for YouTube videos because people will get mad at you. But if you're going for that artsy film grain, like I shot
It's
this
just
on 35
noise.
mil, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you see those
look,
YouTube videos or the Twitter video that was like Canon shooters and like film shot on film? Like it's like this black kid and he's like, oh yeah, shot on film, shot on film. Like it's so good. I don't even care. It's like it's just funny. I know people like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to be able to shoot like one YouTube video on film or something like that just to do it, but like it would be such a pain. But yeah. So, anyways, there's an opacity option and things like that. So
Nice,
if you
that's
want to
good.
like manually blend things together, that's a good way of doing it.
Is there anything we're missing? I feel like we're pretty close.
I know there's so much more, but it's like
Yeah. I mean, I think you answered most of my questions.
All right, hang on. One thing I use a lot. Okay,
Sure.
when color correcting video, I color correct one clip, and then if you hit Option A on a clip,
that's right. Okay, Option A. See attributes.
Yeah, it allows you to copy the attributes. So you can hit copy, and then you can go Option A on another clip and paste those attributes.
Yeah.
But
so
when you go Option A, you can manually pick what is going to be pasted.
Hold on, my keyboard's weird. So I wish
You
these
can
had
turn
hover
off.
states, but hover states on iPad. It's like, why don't you guys have hover states with a cursor? It's like it literally just came out. Like,
Yeah, there's some things. I don't think LumaFusion has gotten the trackpad update yet, but hopefully they do.
that would be sick. I gotta get in on that beta.
The one thing that this doesn't do right here that annoys me is if you do any sort of like speed ramping. So like say you filmed a clip at 60 frames per second and you want to slow it down to 24 frames per second, you can't copy things like that. You have to manually adjust each clip, and it drives me nuts. The other thing that I
and that
love
would
for
be
them
done
to do,
in.
we can't do it in that
that's a
one. It has
title.
to be an actual video.
That's in here.
But yeah, right
That's
there. So you
2?
can manually adjust that. So fun fact, where that bar is, so where that speed bar is, there's a line. That line is the native native frame rate for that project. So like you could slow it down and it'd still be the proper frame rate for that project. So like you don't have to kind of like manually guess. You can just snap it right there.
Maintain audio pitch. That's nice.
Yeah, that's good. And then I use reverse a lot too. So like sometimes if I realize I do a lot of like left to right panning shots and I'm like, oh, I did so many left to right panning shots. Oh, I'll just reverse it. And now I have a right to left panning shot.
Yes. This looks
so
terrible.
Like
I just realized it just says the giant subscribe thing. Oh my God. Let me delete that.
Take a hit.
Yeah, sorry.
Smash the subscribe button.
Does this not, you can't do this?
What's no,
attributes
you can't
clipboard?
Do it, and
that's confusing that it's on that screen
it's
as well.
It's incredibly confusing.
I guess there's no speed thing technically, but it's like while you're doing in this view, you could paste them on.
Yeah, no,
check.
it's totally there, and it's technically an attribute. I don't know why that's not a part of that. I mean, I kind of get why, because if you accidentally pasted that onto a clip that shouldn't have that, and you like slowed it down, it would like take over a bunch of clips that were after it. So I kind of understand it as a safety thing, but I would still like to have the option of doing that. The one thing I say the one thing, but I've mentioned like 5 things I really want them to add, is adjustment layers. Adjustment layers are something from Adobe, or pretty much every editor has something like it. But basically, it's like a blank layer that you put over all your video tracks, and you color correct your adjustment layer instead of like manually color correcting.
I don't know. I think I like to do it manually every time. I mean, at least in Final Cut. Your face, that was awesome.
It takes way too much time because I did a video. What was the video? It was shoot, I don't even remember what video it was. But I recolor corrected it like 4 times because I kept getting it off.
That's something that I've always been curious, specifically for our types of videos. Of like, shouldn't you just import the? Oh, you can't color correct the clip until it's in the timeline, right?
Correct.
Because you could like just import the entire thing, color correct it first, and then chop it up. But that's like you have to get it perfect. And
if your video is just like one long A-roll take, then that's fine. Like you could just like drop in the A-roll, color correct it, then cut it up, and then like your color correction's there. But I do a lot of B-roll, so like I have a bunch of different clips. Like my iPad Magic Keyboard video had like 300 clips or something that I filmed or something like that. It
sounds about right.
Ridiculous amount.
That was like my CES one.
Yeah, exactly. And I shoot in logs, so everything's a really flat, like washed out look. So I have to add color to each one of those. And I have to color grade, and it's a little annoying. I would love adjustment layers.
Just checking these. You can add effects through this screen.
Yeah, you can add effects. I always forget about that.
That's nice.
Good
thing I tapped that.
Forget that's there.
This is detach audio, but that doesn't have any audio. That's like helpful if you need to just work with that. I think there was, I just had one thing. Maybe that's what I was just trying to figure out. I think color grading is something else that I have in my brain, and I've done a couple times. I am stupid, and I went on a like memorable life trip and shot the entire thing in vlog without like knowing what I'm doing. No. So I have no idea if like I haven't even edited that because it's like it's I think 500 gigabytes of just footage, and I have no strategy. I just filmed while we were traveling.
I would totally be willing to help you with that. The one thing that I hate, not just one thing. There is no like graphs or anything like Final Cut or Premiere. When you color grade, there are graphs and stuff so that you can see and make sure like color is balanced properly and stuff like that. Scopes. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. LumaFusion, you have to do it by eye. It's great that the iPad has great color reproduction. I will say turn off True Tone and make sure night shift is not on when you're doing color correction. Yeah. Do not leave True Tone on, especially if you are not in a like properly white balanced room, which none of us are. Like
you're not.
No.
I mean, dude, LifeX. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying that. It's like everybody buys hue lights for videos and then they all flicker in it. It's like LifeX lights are legit and they do color temperature specific stuff. It's good.
Yeah, I still have the hue stuff just because that's what I bought into a while ago. Too. But I kind of want to get the LifeX stuff because of that. Renee Ritchie just upgraded a bunch of his stuff and like it looks good. Yeah, like really good. I turn off True Tone. Don't edit with True Tone on. Fair. That's I just because it can really mess things up.
We got some good tips about color grading in the chat too, which is like I at least am aware of the mistakes not to make, and they were saying like applying LUTs and don't export and then color grade because it's not going to be the same. But
nope.
Yeah. Nope. There's a lot to that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could do a video sometime comparing them. Have you heard of that's what it was. Have you heard of Video Monitor? This is
Video Monitor.
It has I wonder if I can. I don't know if I could do it live. I'm trying to think. I'll just try it.
Here's the button. Well, while you're doing that, I'll talk really quick. The LUT pack. I color grade everything, make sure everything's balanced properly, and then I do apply LUTs. The one LUT pack that I've actually found that I really like, unsurprising to anyone on YouTube, is the Peter McKinnon LUT pack. It's really, really good, and you can import LUTs into LumaFusion. I don't remember how to do it off the top of my head, but it was really easy, and I'm sure they have a way of doing it.
That didn't work.
No. It's okay. I'm stalling. You're good. So the Peter McKinnon's LUT pack is really great. He's got like this teal and orange one, and then he's got this codec killer one that looks really good too. Nice. So those LUT packs, 2 thumbs up. Every other LUT pack that I tried, I'm not a huge fan of.
Fair. Oh no, yeah, I can see on the stream now. It's all coming through. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I
trying
know.
to. What it lets you do is monitor your camera in real time, and it has scopes there. So at least if you're for color correction, I mean it's not correction because you're doing it beforehand, but you can at least get like know that you're not going out of the ranges and stuff like that, and do false
yeah.
color and stuff. It's amazing.
I like C-Log. It took me a really long time to figure out how to like master shooting in C-Log, but now that I do, I'm really happy with it.
Nice.
I'm really glad I do shoot everything in C-Log because it allows me to like fix mistakes that if I wasn't shooting in C-Log, I wouldn't be able to fix.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's it. Yeah, exactly. It's like you get a lot of range. I mean, like you can see in this stream that the lighting isn't like perfect on me, and I can't fix the lighting, but like I can at least make it look better. And I do.
Yeah.
Chris in the chat is saying there's a color grading app for making LUTs on iOS, which is
really?
cool. Yeah. If somebody
What's the
can
name,
figure that
Chris?
out, I like leave it in the comments after this.
Yeah, because I want to know. I didn't know that was a thing. Because yeah, oh, he says he can't remember the name, and I asked for what's the name. Sorry. I should probably read the whole comment. But no, that would be cool. I like Peter McKinnon's LUT pack. I don't know if I'm talented enough to make my own LUT pack. I've never tried or anything.
We should do it live.
Because like it's that would be fun.
Or not.
Because like
Maybe.
when you make a LUT pack, you have to like make it so flexible.
Yeah.
And like I shoot like everything gets shot in this one room. So like I don't shoot that much
But
outside.
for yourself, that means that you have a consistent environment. Like that helps.
Yeah.
At least for that.
Exactly.
So maybe not sharing it, but like for yourself.
Yeah, and like I have a few like presets and stuff. Like we talked about making presets with audio and stuff like that. I have a few that are specifically for color grading and stuff like that I have for like different setups. Like for my camera, if I do shoot like A-roll talking head stuff, like I have one set up for like I know if I'm using a 50mm lens at ISO 500 and C-Log. Just apply this color grade or color correction grade, whatever, and it will look fine.
That's sweet. I see it's called Video LUT.
Video LUT. I am going to download that.
I've heard it's really easy to search App Store names like that. No, App Store. I couldn't find Charty when I searched for it by name, but maybe that's just like the first day kind of thing.
Yeah, because usually it takes like a little while for DNS to catch up and like actually cache it properly. But Charty seems like one of those generic. I was kind of worried when I saw the name because it seems like one of those generic names that would be hard to find on.
Yeah, there might be like App Store optimization stuff.
Oh,
ASL.
never mind. I typed in Charty and it was the first one to pop up.
Yeah, I think it was like it just came out at that time.
Yeah.
Is there anything else with LumaFusion? I feel like we're pretty solid. Like this is gonna help me a lot.
I think we're pretty solid. I think we could probably do another stream at some time, making our own, like, talking about color correction and stuff like that. But that's just such an in-depth thing. Like we'd be going on for another 2 hours.
I gotta eat breakfast still.
Yeah, exactly.
If you did see earlier, my girlfriend was like, we got breakfast delivered, and she's like, "Do you want it?" It's like, I'm like, we're almost done. We're good.
Everything else going good for you in lockdown?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, we're out of lockdown because we're both in California, but I'm staying home still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the Bay Area, so we're all staying here. But yeah, here, wait, hold on. I'm trying to get this to switch back, and it's refusing to. There we go. But yeah, this was fun.
It was.
I mean, I definitely I've been sinking time into shortcuts and trying to get my shortcuts library going. I mean, continued further. So if anyone does want to check that out, just on my website in the menu bar stuff, I've got 230 shortcuts now. And I want to put yours in there soon.
Yeah.
That'll be a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, take whatever you want. I don't have very many. I just have some ones that I think might be useful to people on my website. If you go to the untitledsite.com, there's a little shortcuts tab, and there's some useful shortcuts that people might use.
Oh, somebody said exporting. That might be real quick.
Yeah, that's probably important. What do you do with your video once it's all done?
This button.
Yeah, and then I always pick movie, and then I always use rendered movie folder is what I do, and that puts it in the LumaFusion local section.
Okay. Before that though, this is if I want to back up a project, I would export the project package XML, that's like moved to Final Cut. Now I might actually
Yes.
have to think about that, because like even what I was just saying of like editing that guy's audio, just the workflow in Final Cut of like being able to just like do all that real quick might be worth it. And but
Yep.
like my biggest thing is just like getting the story down. I want to just like sit there with my iPad. So that's pretty.
Y-
I
yeah.
totally forgot about that. I'm like, oh, I can't switch. It's like, no, you totally can now.
LumaFusion's great for getting that basic edit done, and if you need to move to something like, actually, I guess the only option is to move to Final Cut right now. Is you can move to Final Cut and finish up your edit or do like effects and stuff in there. Yeah.
But here, movie. Oh, should I add in?
Yeah, I would add in. No, it's a rendered movie folder. Yeah, there you go.
So I never want to go straight to YouTube or Vimeo.
So
Probably
if you
not
go straight
photos.
to YouTube, it limits it to like 900 seconds or something like that. It's a really weird limit. Like I don't use that.
Yeah, it's like casual.
I don't do files. I just do the rendered movie folder. That's the one that I've had the best luck. Sometimes like when I try to export to Dropbox and stuff like that,
if it fails,
like
you have to start over.
And it'll fail.
Okay.
Yeah. So rendered movie folder, I always go there first, and then to export
I have one of these.
to upload it to YouTube, I then copy it over to my file server via the Files app SMB, and then use YouTube on my file server to upload it.
Okay.
Because uploading YouTube, I don't know why uploading YouTube videos on the iPad is so difficult. It's just YouTube.
Yeah,
come on.
it's just like mobile web.
Yeah, but like you can use the YouTube app to upload stuff. It's limited to 1080p.
If you have you tried the web browser now?
I have not actually. You know what? I did, and it started to work, but then it just stopped, and like it never.
I had that in the past.
Upload.
Yeah, I think oddly though, like I think I remember I could refresh it and it would continue uploading, and I was like, that's insane. But
that's nuts.
Yeah, it's like
break that. I'll have to try that.
Depending on your upload speed.
Yeah, I recently just got gigabit at my apartment, so
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody is saying it doesn't export 4K properly. Maybe just to like via YouTube, yeah.
Oh, to YouTube probably, but like if you just do 4K to that rendered movie folder, it's fine. It's perfect.
Ultra.
And then YouTube gets a hold of it and destroys it with their awesome, amazing compression. There's no sarcasm there.
Well, then can't you do the codec? Nah, not really.
I always leave it on H.264 because that's what YouTube supports. YouTube doesn't support H.265.
Okay.
So like if you did H.265, it would re-encode it back to H.264. So I always leave H.264 and MPEG-4. And
what about
then
audio?
Another fun fact, whatever the star's next to, that's what it thinks the highest quality of any of the assets you use. But so say like you have some 4K video and 1080p video in there, I wouldn't export it as 4K. I'd export it as 1080p.
Yeah, you could choose to upscale it.
You can.
Yeah, that's what I do. Is like I actually shoot in 4K just to upload in 1080 because then you can crop in and stuff like that without losing.
Yeah, and the other benefit too is if all of your footage is 4K, I would like if you have everything in your timeline is 4K, export is 4K, upload it to YouTube, and that way your 1080p looks a lot better because YouTube compression is really crappy.
It's like it's always just got more to work with.
Yeah. Yeah,
we should look into the export stuff because that's just kind of a messy thing sometimes. Do you? I guess I got to do a thing about audio quality and editing audio at some point too. Just like fixing your audio. I mean, I do use. If anyone has noise, have you? Did I tell you about Bruce Free?
About what?
Bruce Free. It's like a Swedish app that. It's got the most esoteric design I've like ever seen too. There it is. Like you import your audio and then you can like expand and do threshold curve fancy stuff, but it's a silence remover or a noise remover. So it can like if you have a buzz, you can do it on iPad, which is actually it's like pretty good. I have no idea what any of this does. I put it in here, start playing and press that button and it like fixes it, but it's actually like pretty solid. So probably not if you have multiple people. Like my problem with this footage that I was working with was it was all one file. So the audio is not multiple tracks, but if you can get one, it's good. Oh yeah. He was saying it's a Ferrite plugin and everything. Like it's awesome.
Oh,
Oh yeah, and
interesting.
Chris is saying you can upload Safari desktop in 4K. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it's like it's a little like just doing it from a not that's like somebody was saying just the export process is like you kind of just have to sit there, but to be fair,
Yeah.
like for me, I like import my footage and I have to let it render for an hour and things like that every time I use Final Cut. And so that
Yeah.
never exists on iPad. So like I've already saved that time. And it is like if it takes 7 minutes, like go to the bathroom, like make some food. Like there are parts where you should like taking the workflow negatives and turning it into like a context shift is smart. Like that's what I was I guess I haven't published it yet, but in my Slugline 2 thing, I was like, I'm still going to use it on the Mac and then just use that as an opportunity to like break from writing and edit on the Mac kind of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
no worries.
Don't know where I was going with that. I, I I mean, I like the iPad, obviously. Like, I don't have a Mac anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I just edit and write and do everything on here. I like it. I like having a file server to do the YouTube upload because the YouTube upload is typically the time that takes me. Oh, I remember where I was going with that. Now,
Yeah.
the YouTube is what takes the longest for me. So what I do while YouTube is uploading, I always go get myself a treat and get me some chicken wings. But, that's just me. Like,
Nice.
I
I want to learn about the server upload thing at maybe a different time too.
it's
And
actually
also
just
shortcuts.
Yes, we need to do. I always thought we should do like a here's the basics to shortcuts video
Yeah.
where this is what like everything you need to know about getting started with shortcuts. Here's the video, so we could point everyone there, and then we could do like advanced stuff,
Yeah.
and then like, hey,
I mean, it's
go
even
here.
I do that for myself.
do it.
It's like I'm going to rewatch this if I ever need it, and that's what it's like. Let's just talk through it so we get it all out, and then I still want to do a simple video for people, but making it simple, it's like I wish I had enough time to make it shorter. Like
Yeah,
that's a whole
yeah.
challenge. So
I've kind of found when it comes to shortcuts videos, the best way to do it is not to make them scripted. It's just to sit down, start a screen record, and kind of walk through it. I will say the one thing that has made shortcuts videos doing them harder than what they used to be is remember on the previous version of shortcuts, it used to have the name of the action up top. So what I used to do is I would have the iPad I was building the shortcut on, and then I'd have a second device next to me so I could look at the name of the action up top. So I could just be like, okay, so the next action we're going to get is text. What's that?
Like, I guess it doesn't show it there either.
Yeah,
because it
doesn't show the
rewrites
name of
it
the
into
action.
a sentence.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
smart.
so
I mean, if you favorite it,
then you could
but
do it like
you have
that,
to favorite them in order because you can't rearrange favorites, and you can't search when you're in a subfield. Okay, we have to stop because otherwise I'm going to start complaining about shortcuts.
We'll go another hour just on that.
But if people are interested in following your stuff, what should they do? Got the podcast, YouTube?
Yeah, you can go to my website, theuntitledsite.com. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about all the iPad stuff. I have a podcast called The Slab of Glass you can find there. Instagram if you're interested in my fun photography, I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I have like a shortcuts and gear page up there too. So if you're curious about what I'm using and any interesting shortcuts.
Nice. Cool. Well, everybody goes hit the big red subscribe button on Chris's channel if you haven't yet. But thanks for tuning in and watching with us. This was a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, and I want to do more like this because it's awesome to share.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you in a future stream.
Yep.
All right. Bye.